Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm seeing the face. Well, we've had several conversations
yes,
over the year.
yes.
How are you, by the way?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Because the last time I was speaking to you, you found yourself in some form of trouble.
Yes, apparently, that's the nature of our job. Sometimes when you are a critic, and then when you want the right things to be done, I know these are the challenges you go through. So we'll take it as it is.
Michael Kwadwo Peprah is president of Concerned Small Scale Miners Association. I just want to first of all, are you still mining?
Yes, we will say that we are trying to do our best. But unlike before that, the sector was very active and everything was okay. Now, it has not been very easy for the legal small scale miners.
Okay.
And we are only praying that things will be better than before.
But what's the problem? Because when you check the price of gold on the international market, it just keeps rising. So where's the problem?
The problem itself is not, we are not. We should is about the country. You understand?
Okay.
How things are going now.
Please kindly pull the mic closer to you.
How things are going now. We are not going to say is the best.
Okay.
But then what we see is the sector is taking a nosedive. There's the sector that has employed a lot of people. And as a matter of fact, because of this Galamsey issue,
Okay.
now things are not like before.
And because one, you are a legal small scale miner. You have your own concession. You are mining it. How does Galamsey essentially affect you?
Last week, I think when people were lambasting government on the re-emergence of Galamsey, government in its quest to satisfy the public's sentiment, inaugurated this operation hall too.
Okay.
And they are now in the various sides trying to solve the issue. But in so doing, now if they come, whether you have a license or you don't have a license, they come and stop you. Sometimes they pick your machines away. And
whether you have a license or not.
Yes. And it's something that baffles us, because if we are fighting illegal mining, why are we facing these challenges? Because I think the Minerals Commission should be part of the operation.
Okay.
Because the military don't really understand what goes on. So if they come and they see you mine, when you even show them a proof of your license, they will tell you they are not there to check license. They are there to just try and then salvage the situation. And after they fix your machine, sometimes you pay as much as 100,000 to get your machine back.
To get the machine that we're using to do legitimate business back.
Yeah.
Because there's an operation ongoing.
Yes. It's something that has made our sector take a nosedive, because now fuel prices are up.
Okay.
There's that the dollar rate is going up. You understand, everything has increased, even though the gold market price is also going up. But then sometimes when you have to balance your accounts,
the operational cost,
you see that you are only trying to survive. And now all people who also invest in mining are reluctant because of whatever is happening. And this issue or this situation was not created by us. It was something that has been in existence for some time now. And we see this Galamsey issue as an issue of leadership crisis.
Okay.
So if somebody who is at the Minerals Commission has issued a license and is mandated for him to be checking and be monitoring whatever is going on at the various mining communities, EPA is also in charge to make sure we safeguard our environment.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, these people are under-equipped. So they only sit in their offices and people do what they want.
Okay.
And they come back to blame us, the small-scale mining or small-scale miners. It's something that, baffles us, and we're only praying that now leadership will get it right.
Well, let me, of course, we've been speaking on this issue for a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, this thing goes as far back as 2017. I think that was the first time when
The ban,
the ban started. At the time, we used to have a conversation. You started cooperating with government to see if the process can be sped up so the ban can be lifted. Give us an idea what happened when it first started, because you cannot take away that from the current fight. When it first started, at the time when the ban was imposed, how was it like?
No, honestly speaking, it brought about untold hardship to us. And as a matter of fact, that ban itself was needless.
The ban was needless?
Yes, because we wanted to understand the problem. So them placing 2 years ban on us, and up to now, we come back and the issue is still staring at our faces. It's something that, we cannot, come into terms with, because we lost a lot of money. Our investment went down the drain. And up to now, some of our members are even going to court because they've defrayed some debts, and then they are trying to manage their finances. When the ban was placed on small-scale mining, or small-scale miners, or all forms of small-scale mining activities in this country, that was the time Ghana became the leading producer of gold in Africa.
At the time when the ban was placed?
Yes. And it even came to the media that there were some Chinese who were mining with impunity in our various forest reserves, being protected by the state security. When Erastus Saridonko had this documentary. So you could just deduce from that as an avenue to take out some people, and then some people were given the chance to mine when the ban was placed. We thought the ban was only placed to clear some people out of business, and then some people...
Was that what you saw?
Yeah, that's what we saw, because the military, the Operation Operation Vanguard, and then the Ministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining, they were in charge on the fight. So they had where to go and where not to go. Sometimes they were directing the military. Go to this side, don't go here. This place is for this person. Don't go to this place. Okay, go and pick the machines. When you get the machines, come and park them at the various district assemblies. They would go back, pick those machines and give it to their people. So that fight, we thought it was a media gimmick, and it was a political, let's say, ban to get some people rid of the sector and then place some people in advantageous places to make money.
Because in the beginning, I realized that even though it was painful to you, you also agreed that there was a problem that needed to be solved. At what point did you realize that this whole thing was just...
When we started going around, and we realized the problem was with the Chinese, right? And especially people on the various water bodies who were, mining with impunity. So we inaugurated a task force, and we started going around to arrest some of these Chinese and then destroy some of these chamfines on our water bodies.
Yourselves? Yeah. As small-scale miners?
Yeah. And even came to the media. If you Google, you will see some of the activities we did. But then it got to a point that we were stepping on toes. So they told us to stop. And for that matter, we were not professional enough to conduct those operations. Then we just laid back, and then the military and then the ministerial committee, took charge of the operation. And as a matter of fact, we realized that the fight itself had turned into a money-making machine, because they come to your site. When they come, they don't ask of anything. They just take your machine. Sometimes tracing the machine itself is a problem. The next minute, you see another person using your machine. That is how come Frimpong Boateng came to tell us that over 500 excavators were missing or had just disappeared.
So they seized the machine. Next moment, your machine is back. on the field. But this time, it's not. You are not the one using it.
Yes. And they made a lot of money out of that, because most of these times that they come to the site, the machine will be in an act, because excavators are used in mining, but then they only come and declare excavators. And as a matter of fact, they don't declare whatever comes with the excavator. So the gold bars, pump action guns, some cars, and all these things that they got from the operation, they never declare them. So if you could remember, it goes to a time when people in the military wanted to be picked for this operation. And that is how come we lost the fight.
Gold bars.
Yeah.
So when you go to the Galamsey site, several things are seized beyond the excavator. So whilst we are discussing the excavator, there are other things that the military actually seized,
yeah,
that they never accounted for.
Yes, because excavator is used for what? For mining. And when you go to somebody's site who is in an act, then you go and pick the excavator. What comes with the excavator should also be declared. But they only come and declare, the arrested person, being it a Chinese or a Ghanaian, then they will declare the excavator, because the excavators, they don't know how to use it. But gold itself can just be liquefied into any monetary value, and that is what happened. So they made money out of it.
Well, if you just join us, it's just the beginning of a discussion with Michael Kwadwo Peprah. And then that fight essentially continued. And at the time, I remember one of the things he said was when the matter of mining of forest reserves came up. And I recall we had a conversation where you said there was no small-scale miner who had the guts to enter a forest reserve and actually start mining.
And apparently this mining is not being done by Ghanaians. All the forest mining activities going on are being done by foreigners, especially Chinese. Yes.
There are other foreign nationals involved.
Yeah, dominantly by Chinese. So basically, let's say it's really Chinese. And people who are in government, they are the people who have the chance or the power to, acquire these forest lands and then give it out to people to mine. So if somebody comes and say that small-scale miners are the ones destroying our various forest reserves, sometimes it baffles us, and we don't phantom with the fact that people would associate us with the mining in the forest reserves. Recently, it has come out that whatever we are saying is true. Now, if you go into the archives of the Minerals Commission, almost all the forest reserves in this country have been given out.
The Minerals Commission itself?
When you go to the Minerals Commission, right? Because they would give it out before forestry would as well give you a permit, right? But if you go into the archives of in their system, you realize that a lot of the forest reserves, let's say 90%, have been given out to concessions for people to mine.
The Minerals Commission is the one giving, because
no, there's it's the Lands and Natural Resource Ministry that heads the Minerals Commission. You understand? Yeah. So they are in charge of either accepting or rejecting a proposal to mine in the forest. After forestry has given them a green light to go ahead with all the documentation. So we thought it wise that these are forest reserves that has been in existence for decades, right? And we want to safeguard our forest reserves. But there's a situation where when the government came into power, now all these forest reserves have been given out for people to mine. And a clear example is what happened in Nimere Forest Reserve, being it legal or illegal mining. The person who is behind is a politician. And Dahon Forest, all those forest reserves in the country, you just go beneath whoever owns these companies. It will come out to confirm whatever I'm saying. Even when the late Sir John passed on in his role, there were companies that owned some forest reserves in this country. And, all these people are politicians who are hiding behind these companies to go and mine with impunity.
Are you usually able to tell which politicians is perhaps behind one
But
one
recently,
mining activities or the other?
no, recently with the Numi Forest Akunta mining, it has come out that won't me once.
In this particular case, it seems people always knew that he was engaged in mining.
Yeah, so he just asked me to give one example,
Yeah.
and I've given you. So it comes to confirm.
But there are people
whatever I'm
unlike
saying.
him who typically were not involved in mining who all of a sudden have jumped behind him.
Maybe I can give you the names of her, but then.
But you do know.
How you know whatever is happening, and it's bad, because now that we want to make sure the right thing is done, people are using the political power to destroy whatever gains we've made as a country in the quest to make money for themselves. And these are things that sometimes when we see, we become very sad because in the quest to acquire money, at least we need to make sure the right thing is done. When we're able to streamline whatever mining is going on in this country, that is when we can benefit as a nation. But then if it's only going into the pocket of one or two people, then what is the question getting money by destroying our various water and forest reserves?
And that's where the issue is. Because everybody gets angry whenever we see the river bodies looking the way they are looking. How do the river bodies end up looking like that because of mining? Exactly what do you do? What is done with the river?
No, I think with the river issue, there are people who are dredging in the stream, on the stream, right? They have a platform with chamfer engines, and they only mine on the water bodies.
They are mining.
They are that is what we call dredging, or 222.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is what, just with the mud and everything, they're only turning the gravels in the water, and the mud will mix with it, and the color will change. So that is why we have seen
the active mining of the rivers. So
Yes.
it's not like as if somebody is using the river for something else, just mining or carrying.
Yes. Because now I can say on authority, all the mining lands close to the water bodies are almost gone. Right.
Oh, okay.
And Minerals Commission will not give you a license or give you a permit to even mine 50 meters close to the river.
Okay.
Right. So now that people are mining and some of them have licenses, you would just come to the site and you know that a lot of people are not mining even close to the water bodies.
Okay.
But then there are criminals who are just dredging in the water, and these are the people who are polluting the water.
So what we see is not the activities of people on land.
Yeah.
That is polluting the river.
No, some of them too. When you mine close to the water, ideally the tailings would get back to the
flow
water.
back, okay.
Yeah. So there are some people who also does that, and it also destroy the water bodies. But then the most people who are destroying the water bodies are the people I'm talking about, and there are a lot of them. There are even more than the people who are on the land, and that is what we always say, that if we really want to clear these water bodies, the best thing to do is to make sure we get rid of these people. And
there are people still mining on the riverboard.
Oh, but recently the minister came out to say that they have destroyed over 850 chamfering machines just in a day. So imagine the other ones that are not being uncovered. So these are the people we should, basically change our minds to clear them off.
So the very first thing we should do if we want to tackle the issue of the river, the colors that we are seeing, the pollution, is to deal with mining on the river itself.
That is it. And that is where we don't have the expertise. That is why this fight has been a hard one for us. Because the Navy are not basically involved in this.
Okay.
It's the military. And the military are, they only come show this bravado, showmanship with the weaponry and everything, just to scare people. But the real culprits are the people who are mining on the water bodies. So if you are not able to clear them, the fight will be a useless one.
Wow. Then, okay, so you talk about the fact that those who mine close to, you said they don't give concessions to people to mine 50 meters off.
100 meters.
100 meters. You are not allowed
You
to
are
get
not
that close
allowed.
to the
You are
rock.
not permitted. So, if we can enforce these laws, right, the most important thing is to get rid of these criminals, especially these. And most of the time, they are not even Ghanaians.
Okay.
They are from Togo, Mali, Benin, because they are good in swimming. Yeah. So the only thing that maybe they do is they come, maybe they merge with a local guy, and then they go about their normal activities. So if you're able to tackle that one first, so that is why we always say that the military which has failed, because they only concentrate on the people using excavators.
Okay.
So even if you're able to get all these machines out, still the water will not be cleared like the way we expect it to be.
Okay.
So let's make sure we clear these people first. Then at least when the water is clearing up, we can also bring other measures to make sure we augment the fight.
Let's conclude on the first fight. I know several things happened. And in fact, the first fight put into context and the audios we heard and everything will give you an understanding of what happened. But from the perspective of somebody who was on the ground watching, at some point you were actively advocating that the ban should be lifted. The ban was lifted. Was the first fight successful?
No, it failed woefully because we didn't understand the problem.
Okay.
It was a hasty decision that we didn't think through. And as a matter of fact, the most important thing we should always put our minds to is to make sure we get the results needed.
Okay.
Now, you place a man on small-scale mining. You take people's machines out of the site.
Okay.
In so doing, these machines were in an act. Okay. So what do we do about this uncovered pit that, have been left behind? Okay. We've created another problem from the existing one. We take these machines out. We will need the same excavators to go back and do the necessary reclamation. Okay. Now, the machines go missing. When the ban was placed, they never gave us even a week or two to make sure you correct all the mistakes you've done at the various sites. They only gave another, take your machines out. People hurriedly took their machines out. They left all these distractions behind. So that is how come when the media goes to the site, they see a lot of uncovered pits and a lot of damages, left behind. Because that decision was a haste one. Okay. And it came to even compound the issue we had already. Okay, fine. You've taken people's machines from the site to a different location. These machines, at the end of the day, get missing or found its way to other owners. They also engage in the same activity, just that the ownership has changed. Okay. Right? Now, from one location to the other, so the distractions continue. That is how come I came into conclusion to tell you that the first fight was a failure because we could not achieve what we wanted to achieve. And all these things they brought about, especially with the Galamsey stop, the drones, failed. Because you can't fight a fight that, is on ground with the drone. And a lot of these drones cannot even be traced. Okay. We spent over $3 million as a country to purchase only the drones. Okay. And with the first fight, we spent $170 million to fight Galamsey, and we failed. So ask yourself, have we done the meaningful thing, or we only wasted the money in a quest to fight this fight?
You said it was because we did not understand the problem.
Exactly so, because if you don't know what is wrong, any approach that you take might not be the needed solution to curtail whatever is happening. So if somebody is sick from maybe malaria and you give the person a cough mixture, have you been able to give him the best medication? No. So without understanding the problem, you can never solve or find a solution to the problem. And that has come to confirm that all these problems now we are seeing is about leadership. Because people are being put into affairs to make sure the right thing is done. So in so doing, you need to go down, dig deep, try and have a blueprint, and then make sure that you follow according to whatever it is to. Even if not in the short term, at least people in the medium and long term, people will see what you have done.
Okay.
And there's nothing like that. And it's unfortunate that, these things happen. But I know as time goes on, maybe one day we'll get it right and then solve this Galamsey issue.
So the first thing government should have done when they came in and realized the problem is to spend some time going around the sites to understand what the problem was.
Yeah.
Develop a blueprint, solution that was workable, and follow that blueprint. But you didn't see that. You just saw people work.
We didn't see that. I thought, people thought those people who were mining before were from a political party, or they had the backing from the previous administration.
Okay.
So let's put a ban on them. Let's get them from the site. That itself, was some of the mentality we had, right? Because if somebody has been issued a license, then you place a ban on it. Itself is illegal because government has given the person the needed recognition and the needed authority to mine, right? Then you say that, okay, whether you have your license or not, just get out of the site. We did that, and they said they were going to vet the license. Beginning, it was not the fight itself. It was about the documentation. They wanted to know and ascertain the number of people who have acquired licenses. So if you could remember, Charles Bisu was in charge. He was the secretary. Yeah, he was the one who was, doing all this vetting to give people the green light either to go back or not. And in so doing, they were able to know the various concessions and where the gold deposits are.
Okay.
So, okay, fine. We've done that. And then the most important thing is to fight. Now that you've come to know that people have their licenses and they can mine, not everybody is illegal miner in the country. After that, we brought about measures in trying to fight. And that was where the problem, came from.
The measures that were put in place to fight it.
Yes. Because if you have an ad hoc committee, or that is the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining, right? To help the Minerals Commission or the Lands and Natural Resources and Environmental Minister. That's where Professor Bob Watson was. So we had like 3 ministries coming together with the defense to try and solve the problem. And are dealing, whatever, they brought about couldn't help salvage the issue because we've used the military approach since 1988, 2002, 2011, 12. And they also did the same thing. That is how come we are back to square one. And now even the distraction is even worse than before.
What do you think should have been, because already you talked about understanding the problem and developing a blueprint. I'm sure when you were looking at the approach, you had your own ideas as to how that should have been dealt with.
Yeah.
What was your own thinking on how we should have approached this?
I thought it wise to use the bottom-up approach.
Okay.
Because all this mining have been done in the various communities.
Okay.
Community has a chief or somebody who supervise whatever goes on in the community.
The leadership of the community.
That is it.
Okay.
We have the committee, we have the assembly, then we have the community itself. These people are being headed by the district.
Okay.
Right. So the district assembly becomes the president in that vicinity.
Okay.
Followed by the DISEC, the police, the fire service, and all the security agencies that comes to be to form the DISEC, right? So if things are going on there, and all these people I've mentioned, just look on. Nobody from outside that vicinity can come and solve whatever is going on there. So if you don't start out from the bottom-up approach, you fail.
Start with the communities.
That is it. Sensitize them. Let them understand. And this one comes with a cost. Because when you go there, they will tell you, we vote for you and we don't have anything.
Okay.
There are no jobs. And this is what we feed ourselves with. Because sometimes they get 30 cities, 40 cities. For them to just be in a hopeless situation, at least they want to find something to do with their hands. So we tell them, okay, this is the issue. We are talking about illegal mining. Whatever you are doing is illegal. Okay, government can find a way to as well, absorb all these people and put them under an umbrella.
Okay.
So that at least they would also get something to fend and then feed their family, right? So when people, have believe in the government, that is when they also help you fight whatever fight you want to put on the table.
Okay.
Especially with these people on the water bodies. Nobody can fight them except the community. When the community says no, we will not allow you to destroy our water bodies. Before, we had watchdogs, these volunteers in various communities whenever we sleep. And, armed robbery and these social vices by then, was reduced. So the same way we can form these committees in the various communities to guard or safeguard our environment. The moment you put that in place, you have already solved 50% of it. The DISEC, headed by the MMDCs, they are in charge of the security and any issues related with mining in the communities.
Okay.
So what they do is they also form a committee so that they augment the fight from the community. When things are getting off and they also come in, right? So when you have these things set in place, until it becomes out of hand, then maybe you go to the RISEC, to the national. But we have just forgo all this, and they will just bring people from Accra, a military person who doesn't even know where these people are. They only come, spend 3-4 days, maybe a year, then they go back. So when they come and they see how complex these issues are, then they also become corrupt. Because ideally they can't fight. So at least my man must chop. And that is what has brought us here.
Well, Michael Kwadwo Peprah is my guest in the studio this morning. He's President Concerned Small Scale Miners Association. And listening to you, I remember one thing that came up. Community mining. In fact, I heard that on so many and it sounded like, that's not a bad approach to go about it. But exactly what is happening there?
Yeah, I think the community mining thing, I brought it to the notice of government.
Okay.
I think we met Peter Mewu some time ago when he was the minister in Ashanti region. And we told him that we want to give him some guidelines. If being followed, at least we will get somewhere. So when we sat down with him, I proposed a community mining scheme to him. That places like Obuasi, Pristia, Takwa, Osino, Kenyase, there's no forms of mining activities going there. Because this large scale owns almost the whole community. So they always engage in illegal mining. And sometimes they even clash with the large-scale companies. So in order not to have any xenophobic attack or have any misunderstanding with them, because as time goes, some people will be enlightened and they will be like, what have you gained as a community for all this while these people have been mining on our land? It has happened to other countries. So let's create something as a community mining for them. One, it is going to boost the economy of the community. Two, it will serve as an employment for the people in the community. And then three, social vices like armed robbery and all those things, right, will be curtailed by that community mining scheme. Because people would, at least, semi-gainful employment will be, given to them. So when we sat down, I did a proposal for him and also put it down. So when the community mining was basically meant for the rock mining, because if you remember,
in the news, what rock mining?
The rock mining is, we have two types of mining. We have alluvia and we have rock mining. Rock mining is like, let me try and find a simple, okay, like chippings. You see the chippings where they go to, the rock. You see the rock, they have to just crush them. Then it becomes chippings and they use it for, the rock mining is like that.
Oh, okay.
So most of the time they use the blasting, blah, 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 or they go to underground. So sometimes some people can dig as maybe 10 meters, 100 meters, deep down the ground.
Okay,
right?
What is usually done by the large scale mines?
Yes.
Okay.
But theirs will be manpower.
Okay.
So they have to, dig for maybe some years to get to where the large scale people get their rock.
Okay.
And sometimes it caves in and kill them. So in so doing, let's try and educate them. I even brought about that. That is when they even took us to the Takwa School of Mines.
Okay.
Especially for that mining. So that after that, they can just implement the community mining. So that people who had gone to school from the Takwa School of Mines, at least will have an idea of
how to do it.
So that the casualties will just be limited.
Okay.
So that is how come the community mining, came in.
Okay.
And the purpose was for the rock, like people who go through. Well, the ones that uses excavators are the alluvial mining.
Okay.
Theirs is with the gravels.
Okay.
You only wash the gravels. There are some mud around the gravels. That is where it goes depositor. So you only use the water to wash the mud. Then the gravel will be separated from the gold.
Okay.
Then at least you get your gold.
Okay.
Right. So that community mining was meant for the rock. So places like Obuasi, Pristia, Takwa, Kenya, say, Bibini, that is where we should constitute this community mining, and especially the north too.
Not everywhere.
Yeah, not everywhere.
Okay.
Because the rock mine, the alluvial mining, that is why we have the small scale mining.
Okay.
Because the small scale mining, mostly they were looking at the alluvial mining. That is why they even came out with the 100 meters. You don't have to go to the, they won't give you a license close to the river
body, yeah.
Because the small scale mining was basically meant to, was basically meant for the alluvia.
Okay.
So when the community mining comes, at least it augments the small scale mining. Then at least people would also be gainfully employed. And they came in, now that they are not signing licenses, Abuja Napo came, there are a lot of licenses on his table. He's not signing any licenses. He's only signed like 90. And with the 90 that he signed, we don't know the people who owns those concessions.
The 90 that
we don't even know whether they are miners, they are not. I cannot, confirm. But then when they came, where we had gone to the interministerial committees to show our licenses, to confirm that, we can mine in those places. What they did was, after the 2-year ban, a lot of these licenses had expired. Okay. So you have to go for renewals. And now it is hard for you to get a renewal. Okay. So in order to take their license from you, there are places they have gone to launch this community mining for the alluvia. And the community mining, they'll only launch it for people close to their government. And these people don't have the technical know-how. So if you come and launch a community mining, and most of the time the people will launch it for them, they don't even belong to the community. Maybe somebody in Accra, Kumasi, other places, and they will launch the community mining for the person. And funny enough, they don't give you any license for the community mining because the government, I forgot how to put it. It's government.
It's a government
initiative, right? So they only tell, okay, to create employment, just go in their mind. But then, when we started trying to see how best we can help with the community mining, we go to places that this community mining has been launched. And to our surprise, we went there and we saw Chinese.
Chinese doing community mining?
Yes. And we were like, we want to solve a problem. And now we are creating more problem for the existing ones.
Because the community mining was supposed to be under the districts, the municipalities.
That is it. But as we speak now, I don't want to mention, I've mentioned the names before, but I don't want to mention names. But I'll give you the list. You can let your people go there. And you see Chinese engaging in community mining. And because of the signpost and everything there, the military and these people are afraid to go there. So now people are mining with impunity under the community mining scheme.
When they were not supposed to have access to sites that were more suitable for alluvial mining.
That is it.
You were thinking about rock mining.
That is it.
And the target was communities that where mining has been taking place for a long time. Wow. And you're saying that majority of people who are engaged usually don't come from the community.
Yeah, they don't come from the community.
And are people who are attached to the party.
Yeah. And the community, I'll give you some districts that community mining is going on. Then you just let your reporters go there and then ask the indigenes if they are benefiting. The only people who are benefiting is people who are selling the food, water, But aside that, most of this community mining scheme or launched, you go and you find Chinese who are mining with impunity under the community mining scheme.
So which means they didn't, even though they are foreigners, they don't even want.
No law permits.
No law permits that they should be doing small scale mining in the first place.
Yeah.
Secondly, this one is not even small scale mining. You're talking about community mining, which does not even require a license to do.
Yeah, community mining, in the constitution, there's nothing like community mining in the constitution. It has not gone through parliament, it's only government's initiative. And now you go there, Chinese people are the people who are there mining with impunity. And it's pathetic. So if you hear them saying, we are fighting Galamsey, blah, 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 sometimes for us, we know it's mere rhetoric.
Okay.
Because if they only look at you, right, then if you are a critic, they will fight you. Okay. So
for someone like you, whenever they come on the field,
answer me, I work maybe small than a break. Because when they come, whether they will check your license or not, you don't know. So now that there's tension in the system, you break. Then you go and sit you somewhere, relax. Then maybe
when the tension goes,
then you go back.
Even though you have the license, the right to.
But the military man who is coming does not, will not ask you whether you have a license or not. It's recently that I heard the minister is saying that now they would give them the name of the license and all. And I don't know. So if they look at you and you are a critic and they don't even add your name to the license, meanwhile yours is active, they will come and destroy your things.
And when you say destroy, are they still burning excavators?
For the burning, I cannot speak, I cannot confirm.
Okay.
But now what they are doing is they are picking the machines like we did before.
Okay.
Recently they went to pick some, it is nowhere to be found. And that one has not come to the public domain.
And those are machines of small scale miners?
Yes. So like within a month, they've done like two operations, and they were not going after people who are mining illegally. They were only going after excavators. Now they have taken these machines. We went there where the machines were parked. We went there, the machines are not there again. Whether they took bribe or the machine are missing, we cannot even tell.
They can't give you an explanation as to what has happened to them.
And recently, the minister has come out that like over 30 machines have been seized from Operation 2's operations. Okay. We are only praying that as for these machines, we are going to check where they are. And we'll make sure that we man these machines so that it will not get missing. And whoever owns it, at least we will know.
I've always wanted to ask a question. Are you allowed to use an excavator as part of small scale mining?
Yeah, from the Minerals and Mining Act 2019 amendment, it never states what equipment or the methodology to use in mining.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are
not barred from using.
No. So you can use an excavator, and any method you think is right for you, you can use it.
That's allowed.
Yeah, so it's allowed.
Then how come when they come to the field, first thing they do is to seize the excavators? Because if we are acting legally, perhaps they will not touch the excavators. They said they are coming after excavators. So basically, they're not coming after your work, they are coming after your excavators.
Yeah, so even recently, I was saying it on video. There were machines that were being parked even in a house, like community houses and all. They came, they picked all those machines.
Machines in houses.
Yes, they have been picking all these machines. They don't even wait for you to take it to the site. When they come the excavator, they pick it up. That is how this fight.
How much does an excavator cost?
At least from $200,000, $250,000, $300,000.
Depending on the size.
Depending on the size and the tonnage.
The brand, the tonnage, and okay,
and the brand too.
Okay. So from $200,000 or $250,000 upwards.
Yeah. And funny enough, you don't know these machines. Some are on rent.
Okay.
Some are on high purchase.
Rent and high purchase.
Yes.
So some of the machines, so essentially, some of the machines they've seized do not belong to the
small scale miners. So you take it away, they go and rent another one. Have you solved the problem? No.
Oh. And some on high purchase.
Yes, you pay some as you work, then
you
at
pay
least
off
you defray
the rest.
That is how it's done. And these machines, they comes to pick it. Other people are working in the forest reserve. As we speak, go to the various forest reserves. There are people in there working with impunity. But they will not go and pick these people's machine. Can you dare go to Numeri Forest and go and pick an excavator there? No. So we are surprised that, when this burning of excavator started, we told the minister it was criminal because the law doesn't permit. Even if you do that and the person is engaging in an illegal act, what needs to be done, you need to preserve these machines, then use it as an evidence.
Okay.
So if you burn these machines, what evidences are you going to, use at the law court? They didn't listen. They went about burning excavators just to, satisfy their own. But then, when they burnt all these machines, later, they realized they've made a mistake. Because if I have my license and you come and burn my machine, you pay for it. So as we speak now, there are a lot of litigations on the burning of excavators.
Cases in court where people are trying to...
Yes. And we will pay. I don't want to even disclose, but I'm part. And they will pay.
Oh, they burnt one of your excavators.
A friend of mine's excavator, let me put it that way. And they will pay.
But I'm guessing, so do you have an account of how many excavators were lost, virtually burnt during this process?
Oh, I think it's over 200 from my account, yeah.
Over 200 excavators?
Yeah, about 200 excavators.
Sometimes the numbers you mention stun me.
Why?
How many excavators are currently involved in mining? Because we heard about 500 excavators seized. First time I heard it, I was shocked. Like 500...
About the machines, the excavators in this country, I don't want to exaggerate.
Okay.
But then if we should put head count to these machines, it will be more than 1,000, 2,000. There are a lot of machines in the forest, though. And in the various communities, though. One community, you find like 200. One forest reserve, you can count as many as maybe 300 excavators.
Working in one forest reserve?
Yes. So they will not spend years to destroy this forest. 6 months a year, they are done.
They are done with the forest.
That is it. And these are mostly because of the influence of these Chinese. They come with huge money. They come with equipment. So what we, the small-scale miners, will use a year, they can use 3 months.
We've heard of Tano Numeri Forest, which is currently in the discussion. Which other forest is currently under attack as we speak?
I think Odaho, is something that the Apapama Forest Reserve. I think even the Bekwai Mahine came out to tell us that, you mentioned the late Sir John's name, that they brought some Chinese into the forest reserve to mine. And even apparently our president said they should do an investigation on that.
Okay.
Up to now, we've not seen the report or, chanced upon that report. But people are in there working as we speak now.
They're still working in the forest?
Massa. So if your machine is being parked in the house, right, and they come and pick it up, Meanwhile, there are people who are even working in the forest, and you dare not go there.
You can't enter those forests. Why?
Look, ask Erastus Asaridonko. When they were held hostage for filming Chinese people mining that forest, what happened to them? And it wasn't like something. The evidence is there. Some of the videos we saw, some of the military talking where they from and all. I was expecting the maybe military high command to investigate and respond, but Major Mahama, what happened? So if I should tell you that people in government are, making profit from this fight, it comes to confirm.
Well, it's 51 minutes past 9. Let me remind you that if you're looking for a trusted real estate company to buy lands from, look no further. Hard Builders Real Estate is a company you need to be speaking to. They are offering you litigation-free lands in developed areas with flexible payment plans. This is how it works. The lands are as low as 13,000 Ghana cedis, 15,000 Ghana cedis, and 20,000 Ghana cedis. It all depends on the location you want to have your land at. All you have to do is that this is the payment plan they offer. You start with a deposit of 4,000 or 5,000 Ghana cedis, and they spread the rest of the balance within 6 months. Easy as that. The good news does not end there. They are saying that if you have chosen a land, you say what you want to do is to secure the land. A lot of you want to do something on the land to secure it. Then they will ask you for half the price. So you pay them half the price, and then you can start any work you want to do on the land to secure it, while you agree on your installment plans. Their lands are located at Shopoli, Shai Hills, Ningo Pram, Asabi, among other areas. Limited plots are available. Don't be left out. Of course, on Fridays and Saturdays, they will take you to any of the lands you are interested in for you to see for yourself before making a decision. Transportation or for the side view on Fridays and Saturdays are free. All you have to do is give them a call right now. 059 324 4322 or 055 531 4806. You can find them opposite Mandela Park at the Shaiman. And when you go there, they also offer other services. Building and construction. If you want them to construct for you, they will do for you. If you want them to roof for you, they will do that for you. Borehole architecture drawings and biodigesters, they can easily install for you. So make sure you get in touch with them. Hard Builders Real Estate, they are the future planners. And also let me remind you that if you're one of those who are looking for a naturally formulated herbal product to boost your immune system and improve your prostate health, what you need is MaxMed Prostate Care capsules. MaxMed Prostate Care capsules. That's what you need. It's designed to improve your well-being. All you have to do is get yourself MaxMed Prostate Care capsules. It's effective for prostate support, urine retention, that's the frequency of urine and weak erection. Those things, MaxMed Prostate Care capsules will deal with it. I think Dr. Percy was the one who said that when you've gone past the age of 40, when you're 40, then you need to start worrying about your prostate. So get yourself MaxMed Prostate Care capsule to deal with all those issues. Call Maxtop Health Services on 055 80 93 123. I'm back in the studio to conclude with Michael Kwadwo Peprah. A couple of things that are being said recently. Mm-hmm. I understand there's a real focus on the fight. Mm-hmm. Is it really going on, or is it just one for the cameras again?
I think this time they would get it right.
Okay.
Because honestly speaking, we don't know how they are going to go about it this time around.
So you're hoping they'll get it right?
Yeah, because even when President came to Kumasi, mm-hmm. we were expecting to meet him, mm-hmm. because we are stakeholders in this fight.
Okay.
So the best thing or the first thing he could have done was to meet the miners.
Yeah, okay.
Then after that, he will meet the chiefs.
Okay.
Then the MMDCs. Then people who are in charge of the monitoring.
Okay.
But then He only came, he met the chiefs, and then he met the various MMDCs, and that was it. And these people will tell you the same thing, right? Oh, we are helping, but then we are getting it wrong because we don't have the political will. This problem is much more of a leadership problem, because we have a ministry who is in charge of this fight, and theirs is to make sure the right thing is done. And whatever problem and challenges that is being faced, we fixed this problem. But then I saw the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. He went to Datano, and when he got there, he was winning. I was like, he said, hey, what is happening? The devastation that I've seen here. Where is the MC? Where is the Nananum? I was so sad. And I was like, maybe he doesn't know his job. You have been put there by the president to make sure the right thing is what is being done. But then you come there and now you are pushing blames to people. That means, we don't even know what we are.
Because we've had that conversation. People talk about the fact that chiefs are a part of the problem. In fact, the Bosomi, is it Freho DC? It's currently being suspended because of what he was here saying. How actively are chiefs and even DCs engaging?
That is why I'm saying that the problem itself, excavators go missing in this country. It was on tape that people had instructed some people to give some machines to some people, blah, blah, blah. Ekouzi, Frimpong Boateng, Charles BCU. And as we speak now, nobody has faced the law. And they say charity begins at home. So all these things have gone on. Excavators have gotten missing, and we put a blind eyes to that. That itself shows that we can't man the problem, or we cannot fight the problem. Because if people who were put into affairs to salvage the situation, did wrong and we left them off the hook, how can we go to these communities and then fight and win? You will not have the goodwill to do that. There are MMDCs, allegedly, who are engaging in Galamsey. The voices are there. Evidences are clear. Because any distraction that goes on at your various district, you are to make sure, either the person has a license or you stop them. So if we cannot sack these MMDCs and they are still there, our president talks about breaking the 8, then it means we don't have the political will in fighting this Galamsey problem. Until we be bold enough to hold the bull by the horn, then at least we can make some, positive impact. But then if leadership fails or they are failing, then I'm sorry. No matter how money we put into this fight, it will always come out that we cannot fight this problem.
President Akufo-Addo says his plan is to eradicate Galamsey before the end of his term. Possible?
Even the time he said he would put his presidency on the line, what happened?
But he said he lost in some Galamsey, some mining areas, because he actually did the job.
He maybe, I don't know, people who normally, brief our leaders. It was not because of the Galamsey fight. People were angry because some were made to, stay hungry, and others were enjoying. That was why people were angry at his government. Not really about the Galamsey fight.
So people were not angry because there was a fight against Galamsey?
No. Because ideally we talked about streamlining the activities. And nobody is happy of the distraction, you understand, going on. But if somebody is in the forest reserve mining with impunity, then you go to somebody who is using a pickaxe and shovel. Then you go and arrest this person and you put him at the court and he's jailed. His family members will get angry. Meanwhile, we have not been able to salvage the issue. So the anger in the people That is how come they voted against the president. Not really necessarily about the Galamsey fight. He would take somebody's property, give it to another person. Is that a fight? If my excavator has been seized, then I see that from Kwame you've given it to Akwesi to mine. Is that a fight? So people were angry that there was a transfer of wealth from real businessmen who are miners to politicians. That is how come.
A transfer of wealth?
Yeah.
Is that what the fight is still about?
I would say partly so. Because we can boldly go and burn people's machine because we presume that they are engaging in Galamsey. But when Akunta mining started this mining in the forest reserve, that anger they use in burning people's excavator, did you see the same anger being, exerted on him? He was made, they only write a letter that, he doesn't have a license. And for that matter, we have ordered him to stop. He could have as well used the same approach on us. That, hey, you don't have a license, stop. Go and get a license like what they are telling me to do. But he is destroying, mining with impunity. What we can do is, because he's part of them. So, if somebody is just sitting somewhere and listening to whatever is unfolding, the person will get angry. And it's not about the fight. It's about how they managed this fight. That is how come they nearly lost the election.
Will the president succeed?
No.
He cannot eradicate.
He cannot. Because people with him or people around him are the same people engaging in this Galamsey problem. So how can he win?
Michael, thank you very much.
Senator, thanks for having me.
Michael Kwadwo Peprah is president of Concerned Small Scale Miners Association, joining us this morning for a conversation. Ochami Bajimba is up next. Today in the spotlight, I'm going to try my best. So his name is Rick Hassani. Rick Hassani. So my music, nowadays I don't know anything about musical. So that is coming up in the spotlight today. Ochami is coming up right after me with the King of Mid-Morning. Show is produced by Eric Boatin, Papa Kobna Boedu. You heard the voices of Ransom Kwesi Boache, Nancy Amalowska Kelly Obimpe, and of course Stephen Mekwa Aferewa. Sports is back at 11:30. Don't forget, 1 p.m. Ransom Kwesi Boache takes over his guest. His guest actually. I was going to say his host. His guest is Michael Tete, who wants to be the next Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NDC from. That's from 2 p.m. So do make a date. My name is Sana Numbu. We are back same time tomorrow with another edition of the show.
Thereby a radio invasion. Listeners are taking decision. For so I won't mean justify inclusion. Anti-committee attention. Yempe confusion. Among for sanction and kindly nanko hibernation. We say your commission or hippic solution. Your power station. Radio Gold 90.5 FM. The power and the glory. You could high tension.
It is real hustle.